Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode prediction for this week's up-and-coming season premiere of Fear the Walking Dead. This is Season 3, Episode 1 and 2. We have a 2-hour season premiere, 2 episodes, alright? Season 3, Episode 1, entitled Eye of the Beholder, and Season 3, Episode 2, entitled The New Frontier. Now, the second title there, The New Frontier, does that have anything at all to do with the Telltale video game? Who knows? Who knows? We really don't know. It would be cool. It would be cool to see sort of like an Easter egg in the Walking Dead, TV world that has to do with Telltale. I'm not sure. I mean, it might represent something along those lines. I don't know if it's the exact same group. Probably not. But or it just could have an entirely different meaning, completely. But who knows? It's kind of cool to have sort of the same name as the video game from Telltale Games. It's pretty cool. I like it. All right, guys, back to where we left off with Season 2, okay? So Season 2, all right, we ended off with the whole group scattered everywhere. Like, Strand is off on his own. Nick and Luciana, they're off on their own. They come into contact with some soldiers that started shooting upon them. Of course, Travis, Madison, and Alicia actually made it to La Colonia? Yeah, that's it. The community that Nick was at, and obviously Nick left. Nonetheless, they made it there. Obviously, they found out that, that place is gone now. Nick's no longer there. And they also had to deal with some men there as well, and some walkers, and yeah, it was a fun time. So anyway, that's what they are. And Nick and Luciana, obviously, they went off to basically try to find a new place to live. With the whole Colonia community, they went off and they thought they saw a helicopter, and they ended up just constantly going down a straight path. Nick was leading them, and then boom, they were met across like a border, and they just started getting shot at. Luciana did get shot. She is okay, as of right now, but we'll see how long that lasts. Anyway, that's where we were left off, okay? Strand, not really sure where he is, but we get to see a little bit more, about him. So, anyway, that's where we left off with Season 2, Travis, Madison, and Alicia, they were sort of left in the community with just walkers everywhere, and they sort of went into a bus and killed the bus driver, and that's pretty much where they left off. So anyway, so after that, what are we left with? What's going to start off this season? Well, for starters, according to Madison, rather the actor that plays Madison, Season 3 kicks off with Madison, Travis, and Alicia getting captured. Now, we're not really sure who by. Would this be maybe the New Frontier? Is this a group? That could definitely be possible. Because again, we've seen that in the comic book before, so maybe they could, rearrange that story and, somehow work it into Fear the Walking Dead. That'd be cool. I'm sorry about the whole fucking racket in the background, by the way, too. That's really starting to annoy me, to be honest. But nonetheless, that's sort of where we're left with, We sort of have a general sense of what's going to happen. But everything that we've seen in, like, the promos and, the teasers and everything like that, that's all been for this season. It's not a specific episode. So we're going into it with a sense of where the episode and the season could be going, but we really don't know, when all this is going to take place. Is it going to take place in the first episode or the second episode? We've seen Walking Dead trailers before literally show us scenes from like the 6th and 7th episodes and stuff like that. So we really have no idea. We're going into it with a sense of what's going to happen, but we're also going in somewhat blind. And I actually like that. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, this is episode predictions, and there's not really much I can predict about it. Now, what I can sort of predict is there's a sneak peek for this episode. It's either episode 1 or 2. It's a sneak peek for the 2-hour season premiere, but again, it's technically divided into 2 episodes, which is basically 2 different titles. Either way, though, there's a sneak peek that probably takes place in the first episode. That's sort of what I kind of think when it comes to the sneak peek that we saw. And that's basically Nick and Luciana trudging their way through some sort of like a sewage tunnel, all right? Some sort of a sewer tunnel, and obviously he's caring for her because she's obviously shot from the end of Season 2. And she basically explains to him, you know, just to go on without me. You know, I'm injured. Just leave me here to die. Get out of here and live. And he basically explains to her, you know, I will not leave you alone. I will never leave you. And that's basically where the sneak peek ends. Again, very, very brief. And at the same time, you can sort of see how deep that relationship has grown for Nick, you know, because of the fact that he just, you know, we know that he loves her, you know. He won't leave her no matter what. And that's what we get to see there from the sneak peek. Like I said, as for the teaser and the promos and stuff, we don't really know, you know, what's going to happen there. So I'm going to sort of just put those links in the description. You guys can go watch them and interpret them for yourselves. Because again, they're not directly for these 2 episodes. So they're sort of for the season. I don't want to be predicting the season when I'm supposed to be predicting just these episodes. You know what I mean? If you want me to do a separate video on it, let me know, and I definitely will. But for now, that's the sneak peek, all right? And the synopsis for these episodes, we actually have 2 different synopsis. Synopsi? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the proper term is for that. But nonetheless, we have 2 of them. So we have Season 3, Episode 1, entitled Eye of the Beholder. The synopsis is, the Clark family find themselves in a dire predicament. They must work together to discover a path to safety. So that's the first synopsis. Now, what I can really get from that is they sort of maybe run into walkers, or they're still trying to get out of the community, or, you know, they're trying to find Nick and they run into walkers, which by a couple of the images, it looks like they're in some pretty dire situations there, fighting off walkers, which looks pretty badass. So maybe they're fighting off walkers and then they get ambushed by whoever it is that takes them prisoner. You know, that could definitely be. That's probably a pretty good prediction right there. And they must work together to discover a path to safety. So, I mean, that could literally just mean like the Horde is catching up to them and they have to work together in order to, you know, find a way out, or in order to find a way to kill the Horde, and, you know, stuff like that. All right, so for the next episode, which is where I think the capture is going to really take place, because I don't know, it just seems so odd that the title of the episode is called The New Frontier, and we just played a video game with the New Frontier being a bad group and, you know, all this stuff. So I think that kind of is leading towards what they're going for. You know, it could just be a little Easter egg. It probably, like I said, it's probably not the same group. It really probably isn't, but it could be. Who knows? Thank you, Motorbike. I really appreciate that. Nonetheless, Season 3, Episode 2, it is called The New Frontier, and the synopsis of this episode is as follows. Following a harrowing journey, the Clark family arrive at their new home. Strand faces resistance as he attempts to hold power over his domain. So we can really sense from this that Strand gets captured too. All right, and we sort of see that in the teasers and stuff like that. He almost gets hung over like a railing and dumped off of like a dam area. Not sure what's going on there. You know, he's probably just trying to control things, and they don't maybe like it. I'm not really sure, but nonetheless, we could assume that maybe they ended up at the same place, the Clark family and Strand, you know, and stuff like that. I mean, it could literally be that, and I mean, what more would you need to say than that's kind of fate for them to, you know, be a group together, right? So Strand sort of went off of his own because he needed to, you know, but eventually we got to think that he's got to come back. You know what I mean? They gotta be together once again. I mean, I know, you know, we know they're not family, right? But you know, they're sort of a group, right? So I can't assume that they would be apart for like very, very long. Nonetheless, though, that's the synopsis. So following a harrowing journey, the Clark family arrive at their new home. So that could literally mean like the people take them captive at the end of the first episode, and they arrive at their new home at the beginning of the second, and, you know, they sort of get to see what that community is about, and, you know, what's really going on, and stuff like that. Great. Dogs barking, kids yapping. It's a fantastic day, my people. It really is. It's like, round of applause. The only good news that came out of this day was that this week's episode of The Fear of the Walking Dead is a 2-hour season premiere, which is sick. So I'm gonna go kill my dogs now. I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't know how much of that actually got picked up on the mic. I don't know if you guys could hear them, like, a lot or whatever, and they're still going. I mean, really. They're still fucking going. Nonetheless, I'm just going to continue. Honestly, there's no point in fighting it. That's what we're sort of looking at, you know, for this week's up-and-coming episode of Fear the Walking Dead, or episodes, rather. Again, Eye of the Beholder and The New Frontier. Now, again, you guys are my opinions on the New Frontier title. You know, that could literally just mean a group, or it could mean something else. I'm going to go with a group because, again, I just finished the whole playthrough of Season 3 of The Walking Dead's Telltale game. And, you know, that's sort of probably an Easter egg, you know? They're sort of held in the same area of the world, you know, that's safe to assume. And nonetheless, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm not wrong, that excites the shit out of me. Because it was a really good story in the Telltale game. And I think that they would bring it to light here. Now, I don't think they're going to have, you know, our heroes and stuff like that, like they did in the Telltale game, like Javier and Clementine and, you know, all that. But nonetheless, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. Like, they might just do their own little spin-off, you know, sort of thing. And nonetheless, though, that is it, everybody. That is it. That's all I got, man. There's, like I said, there's teasers, there's promos. I will leave links in the description for all of those, you know, for you guys to check them out. I'm not going to go over them, though, because they're for the season. They're not necessarily for episode 1 and 2, which is what we're supposed to be talking about. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys want my opinions and stuff like that on those teasers. And I will definitely post a separate video, you know, separate to this, maybe on Saturday or something. Just let me know, and I can definitely do that. Nonetheless, though, if you guys just want to talk about it in the comment section, I will be down there again replying to some things for you guys. If you guys want to talk about what you guys think is going to happen, what do you think is going to come from this season of Fear the Walking Dead? I think this is probably going to be the best season yet. It looks a hell of a lot better than it did in Season 2. For starters, I think our characters are a lot more separated than they were in Season 2. I mean, I know in Season 2, you know, Nick was separated from Madison and the family, and then Travis and Chris got separated, but I don't know, they're looking pretty separated here too. So I'm not really sure. You think maybe the New Frontier, maybe they'll unfortunately reunite them again, because again, Nick got attacked by maybe them too. Who knows? Who knows who that was at the end of Season 2? We don't know who that was. Was that literally just Border Patrol, or was that this New Frontier group, or is the New Frontier even a group? Nonetheless, everybody, thank you all so much for watching, and I'm really excited for this week's episode of Fear the Walking Dead, or episodes, rather. All right. So I'll see you guys on the episode review, which will be Monday. Don't remember, Thursday is predictions, Mondays are reviews, and I will see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Baby, don't you waste me.